Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University. School of Agriculture, SOA. Bachelor of Science, Food Safety and Quality Management, BSc FFSQM. First semester, BPVC 101 Food Science and Food Safety. Block 1 Food Fundamentals, Unit 1 Food and Human Health, 1.0 Learning Outcomes. After studying this unit, you should be able to define the concept of food and its significance in human health and well-being. Classify various food sources based on their nutritional content and origin. Illustrate the concept of food chains and different trophic levels within an ecosystem. Identify important nutritional components found in foods and their characteristics. Explain the physiological, psychological, and social functions of food consumption. Describe different dimensions of human health and relate health and disease prevention. 1.1 Introduction. Dear learner, welcome to the Bachelor of Science, Food Safety and Quality Management BSc FFSQM program. In our day-to-day lives, we consume food in different forms and at different places. Have you ever thought of what food is and what it is made up of? Yes, you are absolutely right. The word food brings to our mind various memories and pictures. Food is one of the necessities of life. It provides us with the essential nutrients in the form of energy, carbohydrates and fat, proteins, minerals, vitamins as well as non-nutrient components in the form of water. All these components present in the food are required for our survival. Food is not only a necessity but also a source of pleasure and well-being. Eating healthy food can benefit our body, mind, and soul in various ways. Therefore, we should always try to eat food that is nutritious, tasty, and suitable for our needs and preferences. Note: difficult, important words have been described, explained at the bottom of the page for your easy understanding. Food is more than just fuel for our bodies, it's a vital part of our culture, traditions and daily routines. From family gatherings to community feasts, food is intertwined with every aspect of our lives. It sustains us physically and emotionally, bringing us pleasure and connecting us with others. Nutrition, the science of food and its effect on health, further emphasizes the importance of making informed dietary choices to promote overall well-being. Carbohydrates, organic compounds composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, source of energy. Fats, energy-dense organic molecules made up of glycerol and fatty acid. Proteins, large, complex molecules made of amino acids. Minerals, inorganic elements necessary for various physiological functions. Vitamins, a group of organic compounds essential for normal growth and nutrition, required in small quantities in the diet since they cannot be synthesized by the body. Food is associated with worship and divinity, celebration and mourning, sadness, family gatherings and community feasting. It is closely interwoven with every aspect of our existence. This is not surprising because food plays a crucial role in our lives. It sustains us, it nourishes us. It is the life giver. Food is not just sustenance, it encompasses culture, traditions, flavors, health, enjoyment, emotions, memories, and so on. Good food is the foundation of genuine happiness. Auguste Escoffier. This unit will tell you about food, its sources and constituents. It will help you to justify the need, importance and functions of food for our survival. You will also be introduced to the concept of nutrition in human health. Nutrition is the term used for the scientific study of food and how it is utilized by the body. Eating safe and nutritious food in the right quantity is vital to keep us healthy. In other words, our health is dependent on our eating habits and patterns. This leads us to the vital question: how much and what should one eat to be healthy? For example, the type of food and how much should an infant consume? Similarly, how much and what foods should be consumed by a child or an adolescent, an adult or an old person? Further, what happens when one eats too much or too little? These are the types of questions that a study of nutrition helps us answer. Have you ever thought about how we perform different activities? It is the food we consume that gives us the vital nutrients that get absorbed in the body and utilized for different activities within the body: digestion, respiration, etc., and the activities we perform through our actions, running, sitting, etc. We need energy to perform different activities, protein to strengthen our muscles, minerals and vitamins, though in smaller quantities as compared to carbohydrates, protein, for bodily functions such as helping to fight infection, wound healing, making our bones strong and regulating hormones, water for regulating the body temperature, lubricating joints, carrying nutrients, etc. Do you believe that we survive without taking food and water? Yes, to some extent, but not for a longer period of time. The time duration a person can survive without food and water depends on various factors like health, age, activity level, etc. In general, a person can survive for about 1 week without food and water, about 2 to 3 months without food but with water, and only 2 to 3 days without water but with food. Nutrition, the science and practice of consuming and utilizing foods and nutrients to support the growth, maintenance, and health of the body. Can you list the roles of food in our lives? Food plays the following roles in our lives. Fig. 1.1. Fig. 1.1. Roles of food in our lives. Look at the screen. 1.2 Food and its sources. We perform different activities in our daily life. In order to perform various activities, we need different nutrients that we get from food. All living beings need a steady supply of food to take care of the body's requirements. It includes the physical sustenance, growth and tissue repair. Can you describe what food is and what are its sources? 1.2.1 Food. Food can be defined as any edible plant or animal produce consisting of essential nutrients viz. Water, carbohydrate, protein, fat, oil, minerals, vitamins, and other nutrients. The nutrients absorbed from the food are used by the living organism to sustain its growth, vital processes, maintain proper shape, ensure good health and furnish the required energy to perform different activities. In simple terms, food refers to anything which nourishes the body. It would obviously include solids, semi-solids and liquids which can be consumed and which provide nutrients so we can grow and be active and healthy. Tell me what you eat and I will tell you what you are. Jean Anthelme, Brille-Savarin. Sustenance, means of sustaining or supporting life or health, nourishment, especially food and drink. Edible, fit to be eaten. The food basket of human beings on the global scale is diverse with a wide variety of produce and items both from plant and animal sources. The food which a person consumes is termed as the diet. The diet must provide a complete range of nutrients to ensure healthy living. Although all foods provide some or all of these nutrients, no single food item contains all the required nutrients in optimum quantities. 1.2.2 Food sources. The foods we eat come from either plants or animals. Among the 15 main groups of food commodities recognized by FAO, 9 are of plant origin, 4 are of animal origin and 2 are of both plant and animal origins. Food items of plant origin comprise food grains, cereals, wheat, rice, coarse cereals like corn, sorghum, millets, etc., legumes, pulses, red gram, black gram, green gram, beans, and horticultural produce, fruits, vegetables, spices, condiments, etc., beverages like tea, coffee, and cocoa, alcoholic drinks like beer, wine and whiskey and comfort foods like chocolates and betel leaf, pan, also form part of food. The foods of animal origin comprise milk, eggs, meat and offal, fish, and other seafood. Foods of both plant and animal origin also include sugars. Species. Some foods can be taken in raw form while most need some kind of processing to introduce desirable characteristics for making them acceptable, edible and digestible. 1.3 Food chain versus food web. Having learnt about food and its sources, can you differentiate between the food chain and the food web? When we talk about food, a few keywords you should be aware of in order to understand the whole ecosystem. Food chains, food webs and/or food networks describe the feeding relationships between species in an ecological community. They graphically represent the transfer of material and energy from one species to another within an ecosystem. Organisms are connected to the organisms they consume in the biomass transfer. In ecology, a food chain is a series of organisms that eat one another so that energy and nutrients flow from one to the next. For example, if you eat paneer tikka, you might be part of a food chain that is depicted below. Species, a distinct group of animals or plants that have common characteristics and can breed with each other, e.g. cattle, sheep, humans, tiger, deer, etc. Ecological community, a group of interacting species living in a particular area. Biomass transfer, energy is transferred between trophic levels, e.g. energy flows from the sun to the first trophic level, producers, in the form of light. Ecology, study of organisms and how they interact with the environment around them. Offal, the edible internal parts of animals produced for food, including heart, kidney, liver. Ecosystem, a geographic area where plants, animals, and other organisms, as well as weather and landscapes, work together to form a bubble of life. The food chain describes who eats what, whom. In ecological terms, the food chain means the sequence of transfers of matter and energy in the form of food from organism to organism. Here is another picture, Fig. 1.3, showing one such food and energy chain. Look at the screen. Fig. 1.3, food chain. Food web, also known as the consumer resource system, is the natural interconnection of food chains and a graphical representation of what eats what. In an ecological community, food webs consist of a number of food chains meshed together. In simple terms, a food web consists of all the food chains in a single ecosystem. Each living thing in an ecosystem is part of multiple food chains. For your easy understanding, the food chain and food web are presented in a pictorial form, Fig. 1.4, below. Trophic levels, the feeding positions of all organisms in a specific ecosystem. Herbivores, animals that eat only plants, e.g. deer, cattle, sheep, etc. Carnivores, animals that eat only meat, e.g. fox. In an ecosystem, there are different levels. One level forms the feed to the other level and so on. In total, the food ecosystem can be categorized into 5 trophic levels as tabulated below. Table 1.1. Table 1.1, trophic levels in a food ecosystem. Look at the screen. The first trophic level, or base, of an ecosystem has the highest energy concentration. This energy is dispersed among animals in the subsequent 3 or 4 levels. 1.4 Food as a source of nutrients. We all have to understand the types of food to enjoy better health and well-being. There are 4 essential groups of food. For good health and well-being, we require food from all the groups. Many foods contain more than one component, nutrient of food, and milk contains almost all the components. Nutrients of the food. Food is often classified as carbohydrate-rich food, protein-rich food, fats and oils-rich food, vitamins and minerals-rich food. 1.4.1 Carbohydrate-rich foods. These are used in the body to produce energy. They are broken down in the body to form glucose. The glucose that is not immediately required is stored in the liver and muscles as glycogen. Plants use carbohydrates to build structures and store any excess of energy as starch, for example, cereals, starchy roots, vegetables, and fruits. The energy in the body is used for non-digestible carbohydrates. Dietary fiber, or roughage, refers to the non-digestible carbohydrates in vegetables and fruits. The fiber provides the bulk, lubrication and nutrition for friendly bacteria in the colon. When fiber is combined with water, it swells up and provides the bulk to the digestive system. This makes it easier for food to pass through the intestines. Food also passes through the digestive system faster, so that waste products are retained for less time in the body. Some fiber has the effect of lubricating the contents of the intestines and, therefore, makes the food pass through easily and in a timely manner. In addition, friendly bacteria in the colon feed on fiber and they are, therefore, nourished by it. By helping these friendly bacteria, we enable them to help us to digest the food. Fiber-rich foods are, therefore, necessary for a healthy and efficient digestive system. e.g. carrots, spinach, ladyfinger, okra, papaya, apples, etc. 1.4.2 Protein-rich foods. Proteins are used by the body to aid in growth, development and repair, build structures such as muscles, tissues and organs, heart, lungs and digestive, produce enzymes, such as those required for digestion, and produce hormones in the endocrine glands. Proteins, therefore, are needed not only for body structures such as muscles, but also for the immune and digestive systems etc. Meat, eggs, fish and dairy products are rich in complete proteins. Complete protein means these products contain all the essential amino acids in sufficient quantities to support optimal bodily functions. Quality proteins can also be obtained from certain cereals and beans like soybeans. 1.4.3 Fats and oil-rich foods. The primary function of fat in the human body is to provide a concentrated source of energy and support various physiological processes, including insulation, hormone production, and nutrient absorption. Sources of fat include butter, ghee, animal meat, fish, and vegetable oils. Fats are required for building cell structure, nerves, and the brain. The brain is 40% fat. Fats have been subject to some checks in recent times, yet they are an essential part of food. The body requires intake of some fat every day for health and well-being. Fats are required in the body to Fig. 1.6. Look at the screen. Fig. 1.6. Functions of fat in the human body. 1.4.4 Vitamin and mineral-rich foods. The primary function of vitamins and minerals in the human body is to support various physiological processes, such as metabolism, growth, immune function, and overall health. They act as cofactors, catalysts and regulators in enzymatic reactions, cellular signaling and tissue structure maintenance. Vitamins and minerals occur in a variety of foods. By eating a variety of foods, we obtain the necessary vitamins and minerals one needs for sound health. Some examples are fruits and vegetables, milk, eggs, fish, etc. Metabolism, chemical reactions in the body's cells that change food into energy. Cofactors, non-protein chemical compounds or metallic ions required for an enzyme's activity. Catalyst, a substance that increases the rate of a chemical reaction. Regulators, molecules that influence the activity of enzymes or other proteins. Calcium is obtained from milk and fish. Iron is often obtained from meat, especially the liver. Lacto-vegetarians can get their calcium from milk, soy. Milk is a poor source of calcium. Spinach, oranges, oats and amaranth are excellent plant-based sources of calcium suitable for vegans. To obtain one's calcium requirements from non-animal sources, one would have to eat a very good number of vegetables or fruits. Deficiencies or excess in any of these groups of foods could cause illness, disorders which will be dealt in detail later in this course. 1.5 Functions of food. Now we are well acquainted with the important nutrients which are present in food items. Let's move forward and explore the various functions of food. Food holds more than 40 essential nutrients needed for our bodies to work well. These nutrients fit into 4 key categories, viz. Proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals. Water is also crucial, serving both as a nutrient and a fundamental part of food. Food carries out the following functions: physiological function, psychological functions, social functions. 1.5.1 Physiological functions. In the previous section, you learned that food supplies various nutrients such as carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. These nutrients help in the normal functioning of our body process, including muscle building. The deficiency or excess of one or more of these nutrients can very often result in malnutrition and malfunctioning of our body. Now, let us learn how the food and nutrients contained in it help in carrying out the physiological function. A. Energy-giving function. We need energy every moment of our lives for performing various types of activities such as sitting, standing, walking, and running and performing all our household and other tasks. Food is assimilated into our body and gives us energy for performing physical activities. You must have experienced that you feel hungry after hard work. It indicates that during physical activity, energy is used up by our body. Apart from these, energy is also required for some of the involuntary processes, which you may not be aware of, going on inside our body, such as the beating of the heart, blood circulation, expansion and contraction of the lungs, respiration, maintenance of our body temperature, contraction of the intestines, digestion and assimilation of food, and excretion of waste. All these processes are of utmost importance to keep us alive. Activities performed within the body also require energy. The energy-giving function of food is basically performed by two nutrient categories, viz., carbohydrates and fats. This is why these nutrients are also referred to as the body fuels. The situation is similar to the burning of coal or wood, which are familiar fuels. When these fuels are burnt, energy is released in the form of heat and light. The fire we observe is, in fact, nothing but the conversion of the energy locked up in the fuel to heat energy and light energy. Similarly, carbohydrates and fats are burnt in the body. The energy that these substances contain is released to perform the various activities that we talked about earlier. B. Body building function. Food is also required for growth and repair. Can you differentiate between these two terms? As you know, our body is made up of millions of units called cells. When growth takes place, new cells are added to the existing ones. The existing ones also increase in size. On the other hand, cells do get worn out and die. These cells have to be replaced. This process is called repair. Now, you might have understood the difference. For both growth and repair, proteins are necessary. We can understand the role of proteins in growth and development if we just think of the tremendous increase in height and weight that occurs from childhood to adulthood. How does this take place? This is made possible by the process of growth. We have seen the growing up process in children. She gains both in weight and height. It is the growth process. This takes place only if the child eats the right type and amount of food. This particular function of food is known as the body building function. In our body, not only are new cells and tissues being added regularly, but the old ones are also continuously being broken down. Food helps in the repair and replacement of worn-out tissues. Although all the nutrients help in this function, the major ones are proteins, minerals, vitamins and water. C. Regulation of body process and protection function. The other major physiological functions performed by food are the protective and regulatory functions. The regulatory function refers to the role of food in controlling body processes. As you are aware, several processes take place in the body, such as the heartbeat, maintenance of body temperature, contraction of muscles, etc. Each of these processes is controlled. Our body temperature, for example, is maintained at 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. Similarly, the rate at which the heart beats is also maintained, 60 to 100 beats per minute. This is achieved by certain specific nutrients, among other substances, and is illustrative of their regulatory function. So does water. You are also probably aware that a number of reactions and processes take place in our body with the help of enzymes, pepsin, renin, trypsin, etc. All the enzymes are proteins in nature. Enzymes are organic chemical substances formed in living cells to help facilitate various reactions in our bodies. Their role is more like a catalyst, and they participate in various processes like respiration, digestion, absorption, metabolism of food, etc. Thus, we can say that these proteins help in regulating various processes in our body. With the aid of these chemical reactions, simpler substances are used to build more complex ones. Similarly, complex substances are broken down into their simpler components. The rate at which these reactions proceed is carefully controlled according to the need of the body. Vitamins, minerals and proteins play a major role in controlling these reactions, i.e. they act as regulators. Similarly, vitamins, especially those of the B complex group, and minerals also help in regulating our body processes. Water is the most important constituent of our body and helps to regulate all the body processes. From the body, Waste material is thrown out in the form of perspiration, urine, and feces with the help of water. Let us also talk about the meaning of the term protective. Here, protective refers to the role in preventing infection by ensuring proper functioning of the body systems responsible for fighting infections. Even if a person does develop an infection or any other type of illness, food, and the nutrients it contains facilitate rapid recovery. A person eating a poor diet would take much longer to recover. She would get ill more easily as well. Some proteins present in our body fight against diseases. These proteins are part of our immune system and are also called protective proteins. They act as soldiers and fight back the enemies, disease-causing organisms. Thus, we are saved from a number of infections and diseases. Similarly, the vitamins keep our body and skin healthy and keep us away from diseases. Think of the cracks in an unhealthy skin which may occur due to the deficiency of some of the vitamins. Through such cracks, the disease-causing organisms can enter the body and make us sick. Thus, vitamins, minerals and proteins contribute significantly to both protective and regulatory functions. 1.5.2 Psychological functions. Food not only provides various nutrients, but it also satiates our hunger and gives us psychological, mental and emotional satisfaction. You may have experienced that the food that you particularly like gives you added pleasure. For instance, if you are fond of pakoras, fried fish, or halwa, and you get them in your meal, you experience joy in eating them. Thus, the food also influences our mood. Similarly, withdrawal of food, often used as a punishment, can trigger depression or aggressive behavior. The food thus causes psychological satisfaction or dissatisfaction. We all have emotional needs such as the need for security, love and attention. Food is one way through which these needs are met. When a mother prepares her child's favorite dish, the child recognizes her love and attention, appreciating the care given. Sharing food serves as a token of friendship and acceptance. A child quickly adopts foods eaten by friends or admired individuals, showing openness to previously disliked foods if seen being enjoyed. This act of sharing builds confidence and enhances the acceptance and popularity of food. Food is also closely tied to our emotions and often serves as a reward. For example, when a parent wishes to reward their child for doing well on a test, they may buy them a sweet or an ice cream or a food she likes. In this way, particular food items evoke pleasant feelings. On the other hand, certain easily digestible foods such as khichdi, a rice dal porridge, are associated with sickness. 1.5.3 Social functions. Food has also an important socio-cultural role. Food and eating have significant social meaning. It paves the way for social relations development. Humans, as social animals, like to give or share food with fellow beings on important occasions, festivals like Diwali, Dussehra etc. Sharing food with any other person implies social acceptance and helps in bringing people closer. When you share a meal with anyone, you are expressing your acceptance of an friendship and respect for that person. We often see that our social gatherings and functions are followed by some distribution, exchange or sharing of food. At a birthday, wedding or farewell party, food comes in for sharing of the joy and sentiments of togetherness. You must have often invited friends or relatives for tea, lunch, dinner, etc. Here, food helps in expressing your affection and gratitude towards them. Food is an integral part of festivity and celebrations worldwide and serves as a conduit for expressing affection and togetherness. You must have surely noticed that occasions such as the birth of a child or a marriage are celebrated by having feasts and serving delicacies. Festivals such as Diwali, Dussehra, Pongal, Onam, Lohri, Holi, Christmas, Eid etc. are celebrated by exchange of sweets and having special and prescribed menus. Food and celebrations unite people. In all these cases, food serves the function of bringing people together. Food also has a specific significance and meaning in the religious context. For example, certain food items such as fruits, sweets, and coconuts are offered to the deity, god or goddess, in temples. Often, sweets are prepared at temples and gurdwaras and distributed to devotees as a benediction or prasad. Further, people of a given religious community share a common eating pattern and platform. Food thus becomes an integral part of the social and religious life of people, symbolizing unity and togetherness. 1.6 Concepts of Human Health. We are all familiar with the term health. What does this term mean? Let us consider the definition of health proposed by the World Health Organization, WHO. Health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This definition tells us that health is a positive state, signifying complete well-being rather than simply the absence of disease. Even without any specific illness, individuals may not experience complete well-being. Moments of fatigue or exhaustion can hinder concentration and diminish overall wellness. Similarly, periods of infection or ill health may disrupt one's sense of full health. This means no person enjoys full health all the time. However, we call a person healthy if he or she enjoys good health most of the time. One dimension that is also gaining prominence is spiritual health. You will notice that this dimension is not mentioned in the definition. This is a newer dimension which is gaining recognition, though it is still not precisely defined. The depiction of a noble family enjoying a meal reflects cultural values and practices that have long emphasized careful and respectful treatment of food. Let us now examine each of these different dimensions of health. 1.6.1 Physical health. The physical dimension of health is familiar to us. It covers aspects such as fitness, strength, flexibility and the absence of illness or injury. It involves the proper functioning of body systems and organs, as well as the ability to perform daily activities efficiently and effectively. It includes parameters such as cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength and endurance, flexibility and body composition. The key components of physical health are regular exercise, balanced nutrition, adequate sleep and proper hygiene. Physical health is easy to detect and describe. A person is physically healthy if he or she looks alert, responsive, energetic and vigorous. 1.6.2 Mental health. Mental health implies freedom from internal conflicts, no consistent tendency to condemn or pity oneself, a good capacity to adjust to situations and people, sensitivity to the emotional needs of others, capacity to deal with other individuals with consideration and courtesy, good control over one's own emotions without constantly giving in to strong feelings of fear, jealousy, anger or guilt. You would have realized that mental health is a more complex concept than physical health. It is much more difficult to measure. Though we can usually recognize extreme cases of mental ill health rather easily, it is difficult to identify subtle problems, like difficulty understanding others' feelings or emotional needs. However, persistent issues in these areas may indicate poor mental health. The interrelationship between physical and mental health can be explored with the help of specific examples. High blood pressure is one form of physical ill health. It can be caused by constant stress and poor ability to handle difficult situations, particularly if the individual already has a tendency to develop high blood pressure. This is an example of how mental ill health can cause physical ill health. The reverse can also happen. Physical ill health can also lead to mental ill health. A child who suffers from polio and cannot run or play feels inferior to other children. This may lead her to be dominated by feelings of fear or self-pity. Such feelings may constantly trouble her and prevent her from interacting in a normal fashion with others. 1.6.3 Social health. Can you define what is social health? If an individual recognizes that she belongs to a family and is able to identify with a wider community, the first step towards social health has been taken. An individual who recognizes her obligations towards other members of society and is able to relate to other people around her can be described as socially healthy. It is impossible to realize the goal of social health if mental health has not been achieved. Any type of mental ill health will adversely influence interaction with others and therefore diminish one's ability to be a useful member of society. Similarly, a person who does not enjoy physical health would find it difficult to achieve social health. Physical ill health often makes one irritable and depressed and unable to reach out to others normally. How does one recognize social ill health? Criminals are examples of socially ill individuals. They indulge in behavior that is not socially acceptable and can be called antisocial. Theft, murder, and destructive behavior are examples of antisocial behavior. The society actively controls such behavior since ignoring such acts would destroy society itself. 1.6.4 Spiritual health. Spiritual health presents a unique challenge to define. It encompasses an individual's inner sense of purpose, connection to others, and living with values and beliefs. We, as Indians, probably understand spirituality more because in our society religious and moral codes of behavior are easily observable. A healthy individual obeys these moral codes most of the time. The concept of doing good and of not harming others, of believing in the basic forces of goodness and justice whether or not these are worshipped as God, of recognizing the needs of others and trying to fulfill them, of commitment, duty and obligation, these are all characteristics of a spiritually well person. Spiritual health is certainly not easy to attain. One must also emphasize that blindly following religious practices and customs does not necessarily make a person spiritually healthy. Spiritual health is more a matter of attitudes and a way of looking at situations and people. What is important is concern for others and a genuine desire to help and be of assistance. The connection between nutrition and spiritual health is an area of growing interest and exploration. While the relationship may not be as immediately apparent as the link between nutrition and physical health, there are several ways in which nutrition can impact spiritual well-being. Fasting, abstaining from food or certain types of food for a specified period, is a practice found in many religious and spiritual traditions. Fasting can promote self-discipline, introspection, and spiritual purification, as well as heighten awareness of spiritual matters. Nutrition plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy body-soul connection. 1.7 Interrelationship between nutrition and health. The interrelationship between nutrition and health is a vital and complex one. Nutrition plays a crucial role in maintaining overall health and well-being, and a healthy diet is essential for preventing and managing various diseases. Nutrition is closely interlinked with health. If a person eats the right kind of food in the required amount, he or she will keep good health provided no other factors intervene. On the other hand, a poor eating pattern or eating too little or too much will result in poor health. It must be emphasized that though good food is one of the crucial factors in ensuring health, it is not the only one. The food eaten must not only be nutritious, but it must be wholesome, clean and free from harmful organisms. If this is not so, the person eating the food will get ill even if the food is nutritious. Before we go any further, you need to be familiar with the term malnutrition. Malnutrition is an impairment of health resulting from a deficiency, excess or imbalance of nutrients. In other words, malnutrition refers to both undernutrition and overnutrition. Undernutrition means a deficiency or lack of one or more nutrients, and overnutrition means excess of one or more nutrients. Both undernutrition and overnutrition result in ill health. One prominent example of undernutrition in our country is vitamin A deficiency. When young children do not consume enough vitamin A-rich foods, their eyes are affected and ultimately blindness results. A disease that we easily relate to overnutrition is extreme overweight or obesity. When a person takes in more energy than she is able to spend on her daily activities, she accumulates fat in the body and her weight increases. If the weight increases substantially, the person becomes obese. A nutritious diet is associated with increased longevity and a reduced risk of premature death. The health of the gut microbiota, which consists of trillions of microorganisms residing in the digestive tract, is influenced by diet. A diverse and balanced diet rich in fiber, prebiotics, and probiotics supports a healthy gut microbiome, which in turn contributes to overall health and well-being. Nutrition plays a central role in weight management. Consuming a balanced diet that includes appropriate portion sizes and nutrient-dense foods can help individuals achieve and maintain a healthy weight. Nutrition plays a critical role in supporting immune function. Certain vitamins and minerals, such as vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and selenium, are essential for a healthy immune system. Nutrition has been shown to have a significant impact on cognitive function. With a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and other essential nutrients supporting brain health. To sum up, nutrition plays a vital role in maintaining overall health and well-being. A well-balanced diet that provides the necessary nutrients, vitamins, and minerals can help prevent chronic diseases, support healthy weight, maintain gut health, influence mental health, affect immune function, support bone health, influence cognitive function, reduce inflammation, and promote healthy aging. Getting old. 1.8 Summary. Food is one of the most essential aspects of life. It provides us with essential nutrients in the form of energy, carbohydrates and fat, proteins, minerals, vitamins as well as non-nutrient components in the form of water. The major roles of food in our lives include I. Nutritional support, E. Energy sources, E. Cultural and social significance, IV. Emotional and psychological impact, V. Health and disease prevention. In ecology, a food chain is a series of organisms that eat one another so that energy and nutrients flow from one to the next. There are 4 essential groups of food, and we require food from all the groups for good health and well-being. There are over 40 essential nutrients which are supplied by the food we eat. These nutrients can be classified into 5 major categories, namely proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals. Food performs different functions that include physiological functions, psychological functions and social functions. One will keep good health provided if one eats the right kind of food in the required quantity, as nutrition is directly linked with health. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.